Tonight on Podcast Them Down, we make a set list that's not OPETHetic. Hail Metal Nation, you are listening to Podcast Them Down. Heavy metal nerdery. That's probably the first time I've ever actually said our little tagline there on the air. So joining me is Dave. I don't know, everyone's gone. Everyone's out of town. We're busy. And this is the perfect opportunity to just talk to Dave because he is the most, he's the best person to talk to about this subject. I was thinking.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was thinking, what would be the ultimate set list that would get me to end my ban on OPETH concerts?
Yeah, this is a good thought. Okay, so, and let me digress immediately. Because
Perfect. This is what I wanted.
During COVID, OPETH was planning their 30th anniversary tour, right? 2021 was going to be the year.
We attended. Did you attend the 20th anniversary tour with me?
Yes. Not with you. I saw, what was that?
I don't know.
Revelations 20. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember the name of the tour. No, I saw that out at the Wiltern Theater in Los Angeles with Greg Mueller.
That's right. Yeah, and I saw it in New York.
I heard Burning Shadows fans might remember Greg Mueller from the additional auxiliary percussion performed on the original release of the Overture.
Right. Gather Darkness.
Classic album.
Came out 10 years ago this year. Available on Bandcamp. burningshadows.bandcamp.com.
Not to mention through steelresolve.com, your source for all your metal merchandise. But as a part of the 30th anniversary festivities, OPETH was allowing the fans to select the set list. Now, naturally, they didn't allow you to just write stuff in. There were 3 choices per album that you could vote on. And no, you couldn't just spend all, 11 votes on the first 3 albums like I would have. Well, first 5 like I would have done. I'm seeing that the last sets that they were playing were essentially the what was it, Sorceress? What was their last album?
You got me. I stopped listening. And
Incauda Venenum.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, thank you. It was mostly set lists that were similar to the tours that they had done for that record. Which, like you, Tim, I'm not really all that interested in seeing. The last time I saw OPETH was after their Heritage album came out. And
yeah, I think I was there, and I think that's when I was like,
yeah,
I'm done. Mm-hmm. No more.
So this is something, and it speaks to another thing that we were talking about. We were contemplating doing an episode this afternoon about Sonata Arctica and what happened.
Which is still coming. It's coming.
Which will be forthcoming and should be part of a larger series. Like, frankly, there are more bands that we can ask this about than not, but it's not always in a qualitative way. Like, we can say what happened to Metallica in 1994.
Their listeners our listeners are screaming right now that it is part of a series because we did Cryptopsy.
Oh,
but that's the entirety of the series at the moment.
I'm glad we can christen the series tonight. And I think that OPETH has been a necessary outlet for Michael Okerfeldt's creative impulse. And I respect what he's doing in a way that I didn't maybe like 5-10 years ago when I was pissed that they weren't doing the Blackwater Park and earlier era style of music that I had fell in love with. But like, I understand why he's writing these albums, even if I don't really like them. So without further ado, let's think about what would get us back to an OPETH concert. How are we going to do this? Do you want to go album by album? Do you want to have like a time limit set? Do you want to do set 1, set 2? We should do a 2-set show.
These are all very good questions that we're going to need to address. But first, I feel I should ask you, how did you get into OPETH? Or should we save that for what the fuck happened to OPETH?
Oh, no. Let's let's tell that story now and we can do a brief recap.
Perfect.
So in the summer of 2001.
So you missed Blackwater Park.
I missed.
Oh, no. That was 2001. I thought it was 2000. All right, go ahead.
So this comes relevant in a moment. I was at Tower Records over at Congressional Plaza.
Nice. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That brings me back.
Dude,
I fucking love Tower Records.
We're going to have to get drunk. There's like a 1996 era employee video that some Tower Record employees made.
What?
That's just like them at work.
What?
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm looking this up now, but I'll
Let me continue.
Watching it for later.
Do the research and I will.
Wait. I brought up YouTube, and the top thing on here is the Alefson solo project, and I don't care. Okay, go ahead.
There's an inappropriate joke to be made there.
Yeah, there sure is. Please don't.
So, thanks. So I was at Tower Records, right? And I was 14 years old, and I was like, I'm gonna dive into the Metallica side of what I like. And I went into Tower Records and I bought, I think, I'm gonna say 5 records.
Dude, this is awesome.
It was the Demons and Wizards self-titled. There, you found it?
Yes. All right. But that's a different episode. When you say records, I assume you mean CDs?
I mean CDs.
Okay.
No, I wasn't. Like, these things were not available on vinyl at that point. Right. I got the Demons and Wizards self-titled. It blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck is this? Went back the next week, got Nightfall in Middle-earth and Night of the Storm Rider.
Nice.
I mean, it was right there in the liner notes. Did you like this? Buy their bands, you know? So, and there was this dude who worked there, a larger guy, Hispanic or maybe like South Asian. And I say this in case you remember him, Tim. And he was wearing an OPETH shirt from the show at Jack's with the picture of them on the back.
Like it just happened?
Like it had just happened. It was like the week before.
Nice.
And he was like, dude, you got to check this band out. One of their albums is just one long poem, except they split it up into songs.
I was at that show, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, but for a couple of weeks, so I would have been. Did I see them at Jack's ever? I did. I saw them once at Jack's. Once I had the flu. At any rate, I bought Morning Rise in that initial.
Was that your first one?
That was my first album from them. Was Morning Rise.
They played Jack's. This is at the time it was the metal venue for
the only one,
the DC Baltimore area. Bands. So, like, if you're familiar with the geography, it takes fucking 2 hours to drive down to Virginia from Baltimore. It's at that point where you're like, should I go to Philly instead? You know, that's how far it is. Did
we go to Philly also?
So I looked it up. They played Jack's April 10th, 2001 and May 6th. So I guess they looped back.
And this would have been actually like a month or two afterwards.
These are good sets. Yeah. So it's probably after the May show because, you know, you didn't have a chance to see them. So yeah, I went to both shows because I beat you by a year or two. But go ahead.
I mean, and looking back on it now, I'm content with having missed these shows because I eventually saw them play all of these songs. That Creedence must have been a wonderful little intimate experience.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like a year or two later, we were on the rail at the Norva seeing essentially the same set. OPETH, like, to put this in perspective for our listeners, OPETH is like one of the first big destination bands that I went to go see when I was in high school. We took a trip down with the Burning Shadows bass player, Aaron, and where was that? It was Norfolk. and saw them on their Damnation or the Deliverance tour.
It was Deliverance because I remember
heavy stuff.
I saw the Damnation tour alone in Philly because I was on my way to Boston.
Mm-hmm. And I saw that
so I missed the DC show.
Right, which I took my dad to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why is he screaming? I know it's the Damnation tour. I know. How about this?
That's why I brought my
Why
dad.
won't Steven Wilson wear shoes?
Oh, no. This was the night that OPETH opened, so we just left after that.
Oh, nice. No, I had to stand through fucking Porcupine Tree and all the fucking prog losers. Yeah, that's right. I said prog losers. If you take offense to the term prog loser, please dislike the video and leave a comment to boost engagement. Fucking prog losers. All right, go ahead.
For those unfamiliar, OPETH and Porcupine Tree were trading headlining slots on that tour. So I caught them one night where OPETH was headlining, and Tim saw them the following evening where Porcupine Tree was doing their thing. Man, it turns out my most valuable single record is Damnation. I have an original pressing, and it's going for like hundreds of dollars on Discord.
I do not have that on vinyl. The only thing I have on vinyl is Blackwater Park. That's it.
And you have a gorgeous copy of that.
Yeah, I should probably get Morning Rise for reasons I'll tell you soon.
Yeah. But Morning Rise, bringing it back in, that was my first record, and just the beginning of Advent and how it just fades in like a procession into a cathedral. Oh man, I was hooked from the first drum beat. It was a really important moment for me musically. Opeth's not dead air. Come on, I'm sorry. His name is Nordine. I think his first name is
Nordine.
Like,
what's he on?
The drummer.
Did he play on? I'll look it up.
Anders Nordine. I just couldn't remember his first name. Anders Nordine played on Orchid and Morning Rise, and then the Martin Brothers, by which I mean Lopez and Mendez, showed up as the rhythm section from My Arms Rehearse onwards until the band got shaken up after Ghost Reveries.
Yeah, it was Anders Nordine until he wouldn't get vaccinated, and then they hit no. See, that was a joke about Axelrod. That's why Axelrod left.
I know, I heard.
Yeah, because
this is why you never meet your heroes.
Yeah, well, that's one thing, but it's like, it's kind of a requirement for travel, and if you want to play outside of Sweden, you kind of got to do it.
Craziness. Absolutely.
If that pisses you off, please leave a comment and dislike this video.
I'm
trying to boost engagement, Dave. This is important.
Controversy sells.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. If it doesn't sell, dislike this video or like it and leave a comment. We're never going to get to the set list.
Oh, no. I do like the fact that you can use an anti-vax perspective as a way to conveniently leave a band.
Yeah.
Oh, you can be like, no, this is my personally held crazy belief. It's not that I don't want to play with you guys anymore.
Interestingly, I'm looking at this timeline on Wikipedia, and Axelrod was the longest tenured drummer and on the most terrible albums. How about that?
How about that? Indeed, I don't think Axelrod can be held to account for the quality of the songwriting.
No, he can't. He cannot.
I don't know.
But
they just became a completely different band after Peter left.
Yeah, and it's always bugged me that people go, you just need to keep listening and open your mind or bullshit like that. And I've been told this, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have to like a band that drastically changes their sound. I don't have to keep liking them just because I like their other stuff. No, I like their old sound. When it's gone, I don't like it anymore. Fuck you. That's the end. I don't owe them anything. They owe me something.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I mean, they owe a certain amount when they say something like, we're going to play an old school set, and then they play things from Ghost Reveries and later.
Right. That is not an old school set. That is
not to say that they've done this, but if that were to occur.
Yeah. What they owe me is, when they come to town, a set I want to see. And now it's to the point where they announce a show. I wait till the tour starts. I look at what they're playing. And every time I go, fuck that. I'm not standing through all that shit just to hear the 2 good songs or the 0 good songs.
I don't know. I just don't. I like progressive rock. I like simple blues inspired rock. I still don't like, Sorceress and everything after. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So let's get to the songs we do like.
Well, let's back up. So, let's drag this out for 2 hours.
All right.
But buckle in, listener. So that's when you started listening to OPETH. When did you stop? How far after Peter leaving did you stop listening?
The last show I saw was for Heritage. Heritage is the last album I bought. I stopped listening to them. Like, the last album I can bring songs to mind is, I guess, Ghost Reveries.
Interesting. Okay, so
I bought and I enjoyed Watershed. Sorry. I bought and I enjoyed Watershed. I listened to it several times.
That's 2008 we're talking now.
God damn. Is that how long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember listening to that on, I guess it would have been my Cirque trip. There's a lot of open country miles to that album, but I can't bring any of those songs to mind. I remember I enjoyed it, but I didn't have an opportunity to see them on that tour. And then by the time we got back, they were touring for Heritage, and it was like a rock show with a couple of metal tunes thrown in. And I don't know, I'm torn in some ways because Michael Okerfeldt is probably the absolute best musician to play the guitar and do musically meaningful solos in heavy metal in the last ever that I can think of. The guy has got such a soulful tone and he makes beautiful note choices, and I love to listen to him play the guitar. But just and what time is it? With Fish, there are songs that nobody actually.
Let's see. 18 minutes. So
Excellent.
If you got 18 minutes for Dave bringing up Fish, hit that like button and leave a comment.
Respectable jam length there, 18 minutes. But there are certain Fish songs that no one likes that will reliably launch into a big, juicy jam, right? Nobody wants to hear Soul Planet. Just have them play Soul Planet for 2.5 minutes and then be done. And that's my thing with Opeth at this point. I don't like the songs enough to wait for him to take his 30-second solo and just touch my soul, when I can go back and listen to live recordings from the Deliverance Damnation tour when they were playing songs I loved.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last time I reliably paid attention to Opeth was probably 2009.
So I got into them. I don't remember who made the recommendation or why, but I basically said to someone, I want more stuff like this, right? And they said, go look these bands up on Audio Galaxy. It might have been Greg.
Okay.
Former Burning Shadows guitarist. So this was probably around 2000. And he goes, whoever this was, probably Greg. Probably Greg says, Yeah, go check out these bands. Look them up on Audio Galaxy, which was a way to share with your many friends worldwide your music over your dial-up connection. And I was listed several bands. I believe they were Paradise Lost, Anathema, and Opeth. Hated the Paradise Lost song. I don't remember what it was. I also was not given specific songs, just bands. The Opeth song
For the younger listeners, it's not like there were full albums available. It would have just been like single MP3 files that said Paradise Lost,
yeah,
Eternal Tears.
Yeah, and it was and you'd have to like leave it on overnight to download. Like it took forever.
One song.
Yep. Which is why Lars Ulrich was wrong, but then turned out to be right when everyone got broadband. Anyway, so the Anathema song was Deep, which is the first song off of Judgment, which might still be my favorite album, even though it didn't age very well. But it's the first album syndrome. You know, the first album I get from a band is often my favorite, but not always. So then there was Advent. I had Advent, the song, which is the opening track of Morning Rise, Opeth's second album. And I was like, this is fantastic. Later in that year, I went to London. I was about to play the bam 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 now from the metal promo reviews, but so I went to London and I went to not the Virgin Megastore. I went to Tower Records in London.
Oh, nice.
And I bought Anathema and Opeth. The Anathema I bought was Judgment, which is not a great album. No, I'm sorry. No, I did. Judgment was the great album. I bought Eternity. That's the not great album.
Okay.
So I ended up listening nonstop to my other album that I bought, which was Morning Rise.
Which was? Yeah. Oh, beautiful choice.
I was like, I recognize this song. They didn't have Judgment by Anathema. And, and it was all over then. So this was, it must have been 2000, because I was definitely at both shows in 2001, the next year in Virginia. I just listened to them nonstop. They were one of my top 3 bands at all times until it happened.
Yeah.
And by it, I mean, Heritage comes out. I liked Watershed a lot, which was the last, I keep saying it's the last good album. And then fucking, The Devil's Orchard came out, which was the first single off that album. And I was just like, and that was all downhill from there.
Yeah. I mean, I think Watershed is the last album where they could be reliably counted on to play death metal.
I remember someone stopped liking them when Damnation came out. Damnation, if you don't know anything about Opeth and you've listened this far, I commend you. But Damnation was like a scream-free album. No death vocals.
There was I don't even think there was distortion. There might have been fuzz effects, but
yeah, it was all just kind of,
it was very mellow, progressive songs.
Yeah, but it was still great. It was fantastic.
That's the thing that blows my mind. By all rights, Heritage and In Cauda Venenum and all of these other albums should be amazing because he did it once.
Right.
And he's not the kind of a guy who runs out of ideas. It's just that it's what he wants to be doing at the moment is not what I want to be listening to.
Right. Yeah. So, Opeth was one of those bands that they were coming within 4 hours of Maryland. I would drive and go see them.
Yes.
Even better if they're close by. Never missed them. My biggest regret, the last time I saw them, they were playing with Catatonia. And Catatonia got terrible in their own way. But the encore, they did Bloodbath songs. And I will never forgive myself for leaving early.
Oh, no. I mean, there's still time to see
played
Bloodbath.
which was still good at the time. So,
Are they not good now?
I don't think they're all involved anymore. The same guys. So, but like that's the lineup I liked the most. You know, the Vakken Carnage is probably the best Bloodbath album. It's a live album. It's probably the best one. Let's see. Oh, Axe and Rot's still in them, so I guess they're not touring. And Ockerfeld's out. It's Nick Holmes now. And it has been for 10 years. So.
Wow. So not.
Yeah, so I guess that's my OPETH backstory. Like, I thought they could do no wrong, and then they did wrong, and they kept doing wrong. It wasn't even a one-off.
Yeah.
So the last album I bought was Pale Communion, and I hated that too. So I was like, two bad albums in a row, I'm done. And then I'd start missing them when they came through.
What was the last show you saw?
The one with Catatonia, Baltimore, probably with what's it, Ram's Head. Let me see.
Was that in 2012?
Look, OPETH at Ram's Head Live, Baltimore, Maryland, November 1st, 2011. They played Face of Melinda and Porcelain Heart. And then, and they did Credence as well.
I think
and A Fair Judgment.
Yeah. I
And
think
Closure,
I didn't see that show. I think, are you looking at Setlist?
I am looking at Setlist.fm, not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but just for communication's sake, if you search it for Maryland, I was at the previous show at Ram's Head in 2008, where they played what might be my favorite OPETH song, and which would make it onto every single one of my dream set lists, Serenity Painted Death.
Oh, hell yes.
And they also played The Night in the Silent Water that night.
Oh, fuck yeah. All right, well, this is a good segue. All right, perfect set list. So let's go way back. I agree it should be 2 sets.
Okay.
Maybe not even a break in between them, but like set A, set B.
Okay.
How about between them? Listen, let's just start right in the middle. Between them, maybe they can do those bonus tracks off Blackwater Park.
Still Day Beneath the Sun.
Still Day Beneath the Sun and Patterns 2. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, I remember the first time I was like, I don't like this for OPETH when they added the keyboardist. Right before Ghost Reveries. I'm like, I can live with this, but I don't like it.
I've had mixed feelings about this over the years, and I was listening to some Blind Guardian shows from this year, and their keyboardist, Michael Shuren, I believe, is who's playing for them right now.
Is he Ed's brother? Ed Sheeran.
I get it. I'm butchering the German. Their keys are like super high in the mix, which is awesome because Blind Guardian's sound is like 1,500 tracks of guitar,
right?
And there's only 2 of them on stage, so like it's definitely necessary in some settings. And I think that Per Wiberg brought a lot of really good, like melodic and progressive. I don't want to say jammy ideas, but jammy in the sense of like Santana and Hendrix and like the 70s progressive rock tradition. I didn't love him the first tour, but every subsequent one I thought was an improvement. Go ahead, Tim.
I was probably going to change the subject, so if you had
please go for it.
The other I don't like this moment I had was after Deliverance came out, and they'd play Deliverance every time. Right?
Yeah.
That's when all the new OPETH fans would like bro out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck you.
That riff at the end.
It's a great riff. It's just, I hated how that's the only thing. And like, people would stand there not singing not enjoying the song until that riff happened. And I have a distinct memory also, what Ram said, of that happening. I'm just like, fuck these assholes. So,
it's an amazing riff, and
it's fantastic. But, you know, there's another 10 minutes to that song that you should have been enjoying, you fucking poser. Yeah.
I have to be honest. I think that Deliverance occupies a similar space in my mind and heart as Valhalla. Like, I hear it begin and I'm Valhalla. Like, yes, excuse me. Sorry. Metal Nation, at this point, you should know. If I'm being vague, it's about Blind Guardian. I dread it when it begins. Like, I hear the opening chorus, I'm like, fuck, I gotta listen to this one again. But then by the end of the song, it's like, I'm fully into it, and I have no more complaints. This has
been an ongoing thing, because recently I discovered you feel the same way about Majesty, to some degree, also by Blind Guardian. but like, I've been jamming on that song, so I was like, what?
All right, I'm going to find some amazing recordings of Majesty and change my mind on it.
One thing I love / hate about Majesty is there's like 10 verses, and they have nothing to do with anything, but the part of the song that's so good only happens twice. Same thing happens in Ice Earth's Pure Evil.
Yeah.
The part happens only twice. Sorry, twice. So. Okay. All right. Back to the set.
Okay, so we've got 2 sets. I think there should be
so I think we should expand it to like an acoustic middle bit between sets. That's right. Michael Ockerfeld gets no break because he ruined the band. So, you know.
Oh, so this is a punitive perfect set. Got it.
Yeah. So let's just do the acoustic middle part right now. So I put Still Day Beneath the Sun down.
Okay.
Instead of Patterns too. I think Still Day is a better song. I don't think I want to hear both of them.
Okay.
That makes sense. So
for my
other acoustic songs, just a handful. Maybe something off Damnation acoustically, and then maybe like one of the older songs, like Creedence, for example, acoustically as well. I think those would be great.
Yes. And I'm going to have to bring in my favorite of their acoustic tunes. I think. Yeah, it is. It's Benighted off of Still Life.
Oh, brilliant.
I've always wanted...
I'd throw out Creedence for that one. Should we throw out Creedence for that one, or should we keep it? Let's keep them both and then cut as necessary.
Yeah, we can always narrow things down once we determine what a reasonable set time is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll figure out what the time is when we get done. So, what would be a good track off Damnation? So, you don't want to do Window Pane because you want everything for Window Pane, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So maybe the other song I really like on there is Hope Leaves.
Yeah, that would work really well acoustic.
Or
now, are you imagining this as solo acoustic?
That's a good question. No, I'm thinking like a stripped down version of the band.
Okay. So, but guitars, bass, drums, but maybe drums with like those stick bundle sticks and yeah. Okay. All right.
Rid the Disease is good too. So is Weakness. Yes. So is Closure. So, it's hard for me to choose.
A lot of difficult decisions there.
I don't think Weakness would work in the middle. So probably between Hope Leaves and To Rid the Disease.
I think Hope Leaves.
Hope Leaves it is.
That's my choice.
All right. So there's 4 songs in the acoustic middle bit, as I'm calling it. I think that's a good little break.
Yeah.
Okay. We mentioned that we both saw 20th anniversary set.
Yes.
So that was the way they did that for our dear listeners is they did all of Blackwater Park as the first set. And then as the second set, they played one song from each album. Up to that point. What would you think? What would you think of both sets being not necessarily strictly, but mostly one song off each album?
I'd be okay with that. I see this. Yes. I'm thinking, You know what I'm noticing?
That
I didn't see that tour. I saw their 15th or their 15th anniversary tour where they did a different set list than that. Sorry to everybody who's listening for derailing us, but yeah, as it turns out, because I couldn't remember exactly what they played, because on that one they did the same thing. They did one song from each album and then a couple bonus ones.
The working
that
backwards.
featured,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No. Working backwards.
Working backwards. I'm starting with Watershed, the last listenable album.
Yes.
And I'm thinking maybe we only need one or two songs off there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Burden and Heir Apparent. Burden might work as an acoustic song, so maybe we should add that to the acoustic set.
I have to confess that I can't even bring these songs on that album to mind.
Yeah, well, maybe we should only choose one of them and not over-represent the album. If you can't even remember how the songs go.
Like, I feel embarrassed because I remember liking it, but I don't remember anything specific. I remember The Lotus Eater was probably my favorite song. Maybe Porcelain Heart. But I couldn't sing it for you.
I like Heir Apparent, so we're going to have to resolve this.
I'm deferring to you because I can't remember a damn song.
Let's go with, in that case, let's go with Heir Apparent. Let's skip Burden and Porcelain Heart, even though they'd be good in the acoustic set. But we already have a decent acoustic set. And I'd stick it I'd stick it earlier. Because you want to get you want to get the crap out of the way. This is something that Fade to Black does. Is if we're gonna play a deep cut that's no one's gonna like, we're gonna do it in the first third of the set.
That's what you do.
If we're gonna play Fixer and Justice for All or something that only we're gonna love to do.
What, people don't want to hear Injustice for All?
Believe it or not,
are you kidding me?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I hate to bring this around to Metallica. But
do it.
People are a bunch of fucking posers and idiots who claim they only like the early albums. So we give them stuff like Call of Cthulhu, and everyone stares at us blankly. Or we'll give them what's another one? Leper Messiah. And yeah, fantastic song. But then they'll be like, "Buh." And then we'll play something like, and people come up to us and they go, I only like the first 5 albums. Y'all don't play any of that later shit, do you? And then I see the same people loving King Nothing.
Yep.
And emotionless.
Those albums are also great.
Emotionless during Call of Cthulhu. You're just a fucking poser is what you are. And I know I've said that to 2 different groups of metal fans, but you know what? Don't say you like the first 5 albums or 4 albums or X albums and then enjoy a later song and not enjoy an earlier song, cause you're wrong.
And furthermore, if you disagree, make sure to leave a comment and let us know and dislike our posts or whatever.
Yeah, and press the disagree bell if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
All right. So I got Heir Apparent late in the first set. See, and you put it in the first third so no one leaves. It's like, I paid all this money to be here and I bought a $9 beer. I'm not leaving yet. Yeah. So that's why we put it where we put it, and it's more for us than, it's for us and it's for like the 10 people who are there who are going to fucking love it. Cause that's the other thing. No matter what we play, someone's going to fucking love it.
That's right.
Even if we do Sane Anger, like you know, you're going to be all pissed, but I guarantee there's someone there enjoying it and afraid to admit it.
The drums sound better live than on the album. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right. So let's give Ghost Reveries the same treatment, I think.
Okay.
There are only 2 songs, I think, on Ghost Reveries that would be good in a set, and that's Ghost of Perdition and The Grand Conjuration.
Ooh. I really like Beneath the Mire.
That is a good song as well.
It's got good dynamic variation, and it's got that spacey section towards like maybe in the third quarter of the song.
When I think of that song, that's the part I think of.
Yeah. That of all things on this record is what I'd like to see them do in a live setting.
Interesting. All right. Well, I will. Maybe we need 2 songs off this album because Grand Conjuration also has some great dynamics in it. So let's put 1 song in each set. How about that?
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Where does Beneath the Mire go? First set or second set?
Let's.
I would say it has to go in the same set with Deliverance because Grand Conjuration and Deliverance have the same like gimmick.
Mm-hmm. The start stop band staccato.
Yeah, and you gotta close. I know I'm jumping ahead, but Deliverance is going to be later in the set.
Yeah,
which means Grand Conjuration is set 1, which means Beneath the Mire is set 2. It'll be the mellow part of set 2.
That can be a good cool down song, like maybe the third, let's say 4th or 5th slot.
Yeah,
in set 2.
And since we brought up Deliverance, is that last?
I think that's a good. A good walk off.
Yeah, before the encore. I just added the encore section.
That's right.
Okay. So we got Ghost Reveries covered. We got Watershed covered. We don't even have to pay them any mind. Window Pane. I think you cannot not play Window Pane.
That's our set 2 opener for me.
Like, see, I would have said the set 2 opener would be Ghost of Perdition. But we're not doing that because we're doing Beneath the Mire. So yeah, set 2, they finish playing Hope Leaves or whatever they're ending with, Benighted Credence.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, I don't know, 2 minutes of nothing.
Guitar change. Drummer takes a drink, changes sticks.
Hilarious observation by Michael Ockerfeldt. And then
this one is called Window Pane.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect way to start set 2. I love it.
And then whatever our second song in set 2 should be like, thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Spencehammer, everybody. Fish. Michelle, show the team Metal Nation most recent home Fish show.
All right. So if you had 44 minutes for your second Fish reference.
I can't hear what Tim is saying.
It's okay. You're going to have to go tune in upstairs.
Actually, we're not. We're not on the Twatch right now.
Oh no. We play a little game where they take bets on how long it takes me to bring up Fish.
5 minutes.
5 minutes today. It was 18.
Yeah, it was a while today. He kept it in his pants. You can tell her I said that.
I want to bet. It's 32-10. So I got beat.
I love.
What sport is 32-10 right now?
Football.
Beats ball.
Or Virginia.
Okay. Dem Ravens? Is it Dem Ravens?
Nah, it's the Hokies. She's watching college football.
We haven't done college teams yet, so we don't know how metal they are. I want to jump ahead. I'm surprised we're like 45 minutes in. Maybe we should pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. All right, I want to jump ahead.
Yeah.
Because I have got an inspired. I want to hear Window Pane right? And they hold out that last note and it just turns into some feedback and they go directly into Blackwater Park.
But point of order. Windowpane ends on an F sharp and Blackwater Park starts in D.
Hence the feedback.
Blackwater Park seems like more like a closer type song to me. However, we got Deliverance there. So
the message though should be a surprise, motherfuckers. This is also a death metal set.
Nice. Oh, I like the contrast. That's smart. Since we're on Blackwater Park, we'll come back to Deliverance.
We got another song from Deliverance. Are we picking 2 from Damnation?
Well, we got one in the acoustic set. We got Hope Leaves. Do we need a third?
It's a good point.
And if it's
probably not.
Yeah, if it's a third, I'd say To Rid the Disease. That's got that piano outro. So we do need a keyboardist. Even though I want him to sit the fuck down if it's any song before a certain year. All right. Since we're on Blackwater Park.
Yes.
I think the opening of the whole show has to be the Leper Affinity. And I know you got sort of a Valhalla situation with some of these Blackwater Park songs.
Just the Drapery Falls. I really love the Leper Affinity.
Yeah, it's the way the song starts with the very long fade in is the way to start it.
I'm with you. Yeah. Now, are they going to do their traditional walk-on music?
Let's toss Harvest. Now that I'm looking at the list, let's toss Harvest into the acoustic, and the acoustic middle interlude set, and then we can throw it out later if we have to.
Yeah.
What's their normal walk-on music?
The sitar-y sounding one.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'll leave that up to them.
Okay. When we submit our set list.
So in place of Drapery Falls, I'm willing to concede the Drapery Falls, because if they played Dirge for November, I would flip shit. So we can just put Dirge for November somewhere. And that's one of those songs. It's so simple, but it's just like so fantastic. It's the same thing for a long time. I believe we've called that, the OPETH formula a few times.
Yeah.
When writing Burning Shadows songs, we'll be like, repeat it that many more times, but change the drums, and now it's new. All right, so does Dirge for November go in set 1 or set 2? Set 2's coming together pretty well.
It is. I'd say late set 1 is a good place for Dirge for November.
I'll put it after Heir Apparent for now. Okay, so we're done with Blackwater Park. If you wanted to hear all of Blackwater Park, get yourself a time machine and go see the 20th anniversary show.
Yeah, I should have done that.
We can circle back to Deliverance. I'm not sure we need any more songs out of Deliverance other than the title track. There's Wreath. There's a Fair Judgment for Absent Friends. Master's Apprentices. That's good, but it's taking up time that could be older songs.
Yeah.
And By the Pain I See in Others.
Also a great song. But the issue with this album is that it is 6 songs and 5 of them are 10 plus minutes.
Yeah. The for those wondering who don't know, the track lengths are 11:10, 13:36, 10:24, 2:17. 10:32 and 13:51, but that includes the weird bonus thing at the end. There's a few minutes of silence after that.
We could always stick For Absent Friends in the acoustic set.
I'll put it there, but I bet it's going to get cut.
Yeah.
I'll put it after Still Day for Absent Friends, and then at the end of it, Credence can come in.
Yeah.
gonna work because Credence starts with the drum fade in. Again, if you're not intimately familiar with early Opeth, I don't know why you would still be listening. Tell us why you're still listening if you're not intimately familiar with early Opeth. In the comments.
Leave that in the comments.
Okay, so we have 4 more albums to pick songs from.
Holy God.
Yeah, so this is gonna get tough. How about let's go back to the beginning. Let's go straight to Orchid, because I bet we can get away with just one song. And I think that just one song is Under the Weeping Moon. What do you think of that? Or do you disagree? There's In Mist She Was Standing. Silhouette, which is just a piano piece. Requiem,
Silhouette.
Forest of October, Twilight is My Robe, and The Apostle in Triumph.
I mean, I would take Under the Weeping Moon. I have a sentimental attachment to In the Mist She Was Standing.
All right, so about In Mist She Was Standing. I have a bootleg from 1996 of them playing it, and it's so good.
Is that the show in London?
Yeah, I think it is. I got this on VHS. My argument for Under the Weeping Moon is it's got that interlude where they have room to improvise, and I bet they could do some interesting stuff there.
All right.
But I am willing to concede to In Mist She Was Standing. You know why? Because I've seen Under the Weeping Moon live.
That's my other rationale.
I have not seen. Okay, so let's throw down In Mist She Was Standing.
Yeah. If it's a total fantasy set, then yes, that.
Yeah, let's put that in the first set. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think we need anything else from Orchid. I think we're
What
done
kind
with
of do we have any slow or mellower songs in the first set? Because I think
right now the first set is Leper Affinity, In Mist, Heir Apparent, and Dirge for November. So half of Dirge for November is slow. So we're gonna need another slow one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Morning Rise. All right, here's my thought for Morning Rise. I don't mean to do all the driving, but we need
No, it's fine.
We need to over-represent this album. For the encore, Black Rose Immortal. That's the encore.
Yeah.
Oh, would you just shit yourself? I'd shit everyone around me if they played Black Rose Immortal, because you don't think it's coming.
No.
All right, so here's my problem. I love Advent, Night in the Silent Water, and To Bid You Farewell equally. So what do we do? What do we do?
The Night in the Silent Water and To Bid You Farewell is what we do. We overrepresent this album with 45 minutes of music.
All right, so that's another one where we got to put, in my opinion, we got to put one in set 1 and one in set 2.
Okay, I think To Bid You Farewell is a good lead-in to In Mist She Was Standing.
Ooh. All right.
Because it allows them to pick up the pace again after that.
Yeah. Farewell, and then so we got to stick Night in the Silent Water, maybe after Blackwater Park or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we're done with that album. Because we played more.
Yeah,
than
there's only
half of it.
2 other songs.
All right,
Man.
so now we're getting into Sophie's Choice. So we got My Arms Are Hers and Still Life, which I don't like as much as Morning Rise, but Morning Rise only has 5 tracks, and we've chosen 3 of them. So,
Yeah.
okay, so we're already doing Credence off My Arms Are Hers. Demon of the Fall, often an encore song, so maybe the encore is Black Rose Immortal and Demon of the Fall.
Yeah. They sometimes, they seem not to be able to help themselves with that song.
Yeah, and
it's how they like to say goodnight.
Either. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Black Rose into Demon of the Fall, because doesn't Black Rose end with an acoustic thing anyway? Pretty sure it does.
Yes.
Okay, and then what? Here we go. April Ethereal. When the Amen corner. That's a deep cut.
Yeah. I actually did see that on the 15th anniversary tour.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise.
White Summer.
I love that.
So far, I've come to see you again. What a good song.
Yes.
And
I love Karma.
see that one.
That's a song that I think is frequently overlooked.
It is. Maybe we should we sacrifice April Ethereal or When just for Karma?
Tough call.
Or maybe we have room for 2. I think since I
think there's room for 2. We put Demon of the Fall.
Let's assume there's room for 2. 3 because Demon of the Fall's in the encore. So
that's an encore.
Let's put Karma. Should that be in the second set or the first set? That's tough. I'll stick it in the second as an apology for Beneath the Mire.
Okay.
And then instead of When, which is on one of the live albums, we do April Ethereal.
I'm with you there. Oh, what a great song. And maybe there's even a little band break and they do prologue over the PA.
Oh, yeah. So what's a good song to put that after? Maybe it's Post Deliverance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it's like Deliverance finishes prologue.
Blom.
If I could spell prologue.
Hey, they could even play it live if we have a keyboardist.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh, this is great. All right.
This is really coming together.
Yeah. All right, so we got one album left. I have a 5.1 mix of Still Life, by the way. Yeah. I listened to it once ever, and I forgot it existed until right now. So I think I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Is your studio set up with 5.1?
Not the studio, but I have I have 2 different 5.1 systems. So
nice.
Because I can't help myself.
I'm on 2.1.
I have wanted a 22.2 system for a long time, but not even if I could spend that much on a system, I don't think it's right to spend the equivalent of a car.
Is that how much they cost?
Holy
much. Blankenstein.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, 22.2 refers to 2 subwoofers.
2 subwoofers so you can get directional bass. It's ridiculous. And then that's not even the most advanced.
22 speakers?
Yeah. Most of them.
Holy shit.
Most of them are up. You know, I don't know when it would be used correctly, but that's not even like the newest technology. The newest one is DTS, where there's no discrete speakers anymore. It's like a sound field. Mm-hmm. But Opeth's not releasing remixes in DTS, so it's okay.
Not yet. Yeah, I think I listened to it once at my parents' house. Like, actually, I recall this quite clearly. They left the house, I took care of my business, and then put Opeth on 5.1. It did sound different.
Yeah.
It was an immersive listening experience for sure.
Yeah, and it's we have the ability to do that for our stuff, but it's just like, okay, I put the drums behind me. Done. So, yeah.
Oh man,
all right, back to Still Life.
Yeah.
Oh no, you were gonna say something. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I think I've already committed my pick when I said earlier this. I would
Serenity
see
Painted Death
at every single show if I could.
Well, I've seen White Cluster live, and yes, I am bragging. I think I believe I've seen Serenity Painted Death live as well.
I think you may have.
I think you can't argue with that one riff, the F sharp diminished riff. Ooh, yeah, that thing. Yeah, so
Yes.
I think that edges it out over White Cluster. Should that go in the first set so you know what the fuck is up? You're like, oh shit. I think it should be far away from Deliverance, because that's the other song where it's just kind of like, here it comes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great positioning for that.
All right, so then The More, I've seen that. That's one of my favorite songs, as you know. God Has Lament. We're already doing Benighted in the acoustic bit. There's Moonlapse Vertigo. Face of Melinda used to be one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
It probably still is. I just haven't listened to it in a while. I don't think we need both White Cluster and Serenity Painted Death. So what are you thinking for another song? Or do we need another song? Are we done?
I mean, if I were to pick another song off of my two favorite heavy songs on this album are Serenity Painted Death and The More.
Yeah, let's put The More in there and then decide if we need to bring it down. It looks like we need it in the first set.
The More?
Yeah. So I'll put it after Heir Apparent. Just for now. All right, so I think we got our set. Unless you want to hear them do one of their covers, like Remember Tomorrow, the Iron Maiden cover, which they did better than Iron Maiden did.
They also do a fucking great cover of Soldier of Fortune.
Oh, Soldier of Fortune.
They encored with that at 9:30 when they were on the Damnation tour.
Yeah. That's a great cover. Between covers, I'd go for Soldier of Fortune.
I would agree. It's, again, Michael's solo on that tune is just sublime.
How about let's put it between Beneath the Mire and Karma?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we have, then I'll tell you how long it is based on the album, and then we'll decide if we need to cut anything or if it's perfect.
Sounds good to me.
So, set 1. Intro music. Approaching sound. The Leper Affinity. Holy shit. Ends with the piano. Goes into To Bid You Farewell. I'm not sure that's in the right place now. That's where I put it. I don't think
immediately after
second song of the set. I don't think it works there. So let's keep going.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Where it should go.
Okay.
Next, In Mist She Was Standing. That's a better song to follow. Leper Affinity. Then Heir Apparent. I think Heir Apparent's too early. Then The More. Dirge for November. Serenity Painted Death. And that's the first set.
Okay. I would flip. Air.
I'm looking at it, so it's easier for me.
Yeah.
To Bid You Farewell is too early, so let's move it down. I'll just move it.
Honestly, that might not be a bad set 1 closer, especially with the To Bid You Farewell message.
Love it.
They step off stage for a couple minutes and then come back with acoustics.
So then we got Leper Affinity into In Mist, which is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Heir Apparent and The More. Then Dirge for November and Serenity Painted Death. Then To Bid You Farewell.
I mean, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I might move Heir Apparent 1 further down in the set.
Exactly what I was about to say. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're absolutely right about that. So set 1, Leper Affinity. In Mist She Was Standing. The More, Heir Apparent, Dirge for November, Serenity Painted Death, To Bid You Farewell. Then they go off for 2 minutes. Come back on to do their acoustic set. Still Day Beneath the Sun.
We call these Grand Paul's guitars. And these are Grand Paul's tunes for you.
Still Day Beneath the Sun for Absent Friends, Credence, Harvest, Benighted, Hope Leaves. I feel like you can put anything there. Maybe divided by half. Gotta keep Benighted if we cut anything.
Mm-hmm. How many minutes is that?
We'll get to that. I haven't looked it up yet. Like any mixture of those, as long as Still Day is first, I think is good. Yeah. Maybe end with Benighted. What would you end the acoustic set with? There's Harvest, Credence, For Absent Friends.
I mean, there's an electric solo at the end of Benighted, so that's actually kind of a good segue back into...
Yes. All right, and then set 2 begins. This song is called Window Pane. All right, so then finish Window Pane, and in a moment you will hear a note. And that's Blackwater Park.
It's the sound of a down-tuned guitar.
Yes. Then we have The Night in the Silent Water, Beneath the Mire, Soldier of Fortune, Karma, Deliverance, Prologue / April Ethereal.
And then so Prologue / April Ethereal to close?
To close set 2.
Set 2. I think that needs to be closer to the middle of the set.
All right, so let's put that after... Maybe after... Should it be after Soldier of Fortune or after Beneath the Mire?
Maybe after Beneath the Mire, and then Soldier of Fortune after April Ethereal, and then...
Karma and Deliverance.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so they finish Deliverance, they go off, they come back on. Black Rose Immortal, holy shit.
Yeah.
Then Demon of the Fall, and then we're done. I think that's a fantastic set. Now let's see how feasible such a set is. This is going to take me a minute. So unlike most people, I still have an MP3 playing type software on my computer, so I can just select these and it'll tell me how long my selection is. So I got to jump around. Leper Affinity, In Mist, The More. Luckily, it's organized by year. This is Music Bee, by the way, not a sponsor if you're looking for something on Windows. To be an old curmudgeon like me.
We personally like it.
All right, Heir Apparent. Dirge for November. Got to go back up. Dirge. Serenity Painted Death. Go up a little more. To Bid You Farewell. Go up more. That... So that's longer than the first 2 times I saw OPETH. That's an hour and 4 minutes. I think that's perfect.
That's their first set?
That's their first set. 1 hour and 4 minutes.
That's extremely reasonable.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I was wrong. It's an hour and 13 minutes. But still, that's only 10 minutes more.
Very reasonable. Yeah. And this is a fantasy set where they're playing Merryweather Post Pavilion for 3 sets.
Oh, no. They're playing to 30 people at Baltimore Soundstage, so I can get up front and don't have to deal with assholes.
Yeah, live at the depot.
Yeah, that's right. So Michael can hear everything I have to say to him. Hey, man.
Wow, that solo was really good.
You used to be good. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Let's see.
All right, so we've got an hour and 14 minutes, let's say.
Yeah. I should write that down. 1:14. All right. So then the acoustic middle bit, as I called it, Still Day Beneath the Sun, For Absent Friends, Credence. There it is. Credence, Harvest. Great song. This is what would keep my wife there. She'd probably leave right after Window Pane. So she'd get to the second set. Let's see. Hope Leaves, and then Benighted. You're totally right about Benighted. Definitely. All right. So the acoustic. Oh, it's 28 minutes. That's pretty good. That's a nice little.
It's super relaxed.
Yeah. This isn't. I mean, like already Metallica sets are much longer than the Fade to Black sets are longer than this. I'm just looking at that encore, wondering how it's gonna go. All right. Let's see. Window Pane, opener of the second set. Window Pane is on Damnation. All right. And then Blackwater Park. And then The Night. Oh, yeah. Such a good Good set right here. Then Beneath the Mire. So that was Night in the Silent Water. I think I interrupted myself. Beneath the Mire. Prologue / April Ethereal. I think this order works very well. Soldier of Fortune, which was a bonus track on Ghost Reveries. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
That's right.
Karma, which is the end of My Arms Your Hearse, and then Deliverance, and all the people bro out. And that is, we're really good at, we're naturals at this. This is an hour and 13 minutes. Or set one was an hour and 14 minutes. So this worked perfectly.
I'm very glad that our years of devising set lists have paid off.
Yeah, it's instinctual now. All right, so then the encore Black Rose Immortal, followed by Demon of the Fall, is 26 and a half minutes. I'll call it 27. 27 minutes. So, which is about as long as our acoustic middle part, which is 28 minutes. We're so good at this. This is amazing. Oh, yeah, we need some applause for this.
What we need to do now is get this in front of the right man.
Right. So we all told an hour and 14, an hour and 13, and 2.5 hours. That's 3.5 hours.
That's
Manowar played 5 albums straight through.
So you're saying it's doable.
So I'm saying Opeth can absolutely do this. And there's plenty of breaks all over the place. Oh, and Peter Lindgren has to be playing guitar.
Oh, absolutely. And I would choose Martin Lopez for drums. Sorry, Mr. Axelrod, but...
Well, he can't come to Baltimore anyway.
This is true.
Yeah, and then keyboards only when needed. No, you don't need them in the more. I'm sorry you don't. Actually, I'm not sorry. So
it's not necessary.
I'm very impressed how extremely even these worked out. Yeah, so I'll publish this somewhere. The right people hopefully will see it, and then we'll get our Baltimore show. That'll finally bring us back to see Opeth with the perfect set list.
We can't wait. We're really excited for it to happen. We'd like to have you guys over for dinner as well when you make this tour happen.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you any Swedish food
invitation
you want. They have at IKEA.
That's right. I've got the inn.
Or if you want American food, we have that too. So
correct.
All right.
Man, this was great fun. I can't wait to do this for other bands.
Yeah. I wonder what the hardest band to do this for is going to be. We'll find out.
We will.
And this will be the first of a series as well. Perfect set lists.
Naturally.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are going to be some tough ones ahead of us, I'm sure.
Absolutely. All right. Until next time, Metal Nation, repeat it 4 more times with a different drum line. One of my favorite things Michael has ever said on stage, I have to keep this in, was one of the Vakins, he was saying Soilwork was playing on another stage. Do you remember this?
I have a vague recollection of this.
Yeah. And he goes, it's funny they're called Soilwork because they're from southern Sweden and everyone from southern Sweden is a farmer.